They say the more that you try, the more that you succeed.
You got a new quote every week.
A new one every week because they're here every week to hear something new.
Cody's Corner.
Woo! Hello, everybody, and welcome officially to Cody's Corner. Cody's week-by-week hot takes on who's going to get the $25, as well as who's going to get the highest points scored. This is a recap of Week 16.
I see you've been studying. No script out.
No script. I didn't even have that out for that one. Bro,
Wow.
we've been doing it for a little while. Oh, wait, what is it? What is it Future said? I've been here for a long time. We're here, chilling, living life. First and foremost, rest in peace, back like no other, Aaron Rodgers, an NFL GOAT. This season is for him.
Rest in peace, Angel.
Rest in peace, Angel. But, you
Amen.
know, if we're being honest,
Amen.
we're not here to talk about Angel anymore.
Not even amen.
Lost in the dust. Gone with the wind. Catcher in the rhyme. Name another book.
Of mice and men.
David?
Art of War?
If you give a mouse a cookie.
Ooh. Cat in the Hat.
Ooh. I honestly didn't
Where did
know.
that even go? Just
I don't know. Hop on pop. I don't know.
One fish, two fish.
Three
Red fish, blue fish.
Oh, man. But enough of your horseplay. Let's get into these Saturday games. Honestly, I really enjoyed watching these games Sunday. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot going on this whole weekend. I think it felt like we had a new game every week, every day, right?
You know, we do have new games every day, some might say, though.
I mean, we had one on Thursday. We had some on, what was it, Friday or Friday?
Yeah, no,
Saturday and Sunday.
3 games
and
on
Monday.
Monday.
There's a lot of football.
You know, that mixed with the holiday, I feel like it was really easy to just be like, wow, there's more? Oh my God, there's more? It felt like Christmas on Christmas.
It did.
With all this football on.
That it did.
But other than that, let's get right into it, bro. Welcome to Week 17.
What are we starting with?
You know, we got to start Cincinnati-Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh won 34-11. Yeah, Jake Browning, none other than, with 335 passing yards without Jamar Chase. That's pretty impressive.
I mean, we've been saying it every week. Like, we sound like a broken record now. Browning is him. He's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
And they're going to have a tough decision when Joe Burrow comes back.
it's
true.
not going to be that tough.
You don't think so?
No.
He got paid all that money and then he got sloppy, as most players do once they get paid.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Let's say in a world Burrow comes back and he does not play well.
Okay.
Do you bench him for Browning?
You trade out his contract, bro.
Yeah?
If you didn't he like win a record or something for his contract that he got? It was like
He's one of the highest paid quarterbacks.
Yeah, bro. If you can trade that away and do the Brock Purdy formula, that's what you got to do. We're not gonna get too much into Brock Purdy because of the horror film that was the game on Monday, but we'll leave that for there. If we're talking about receivers that really shined this game, you would think it was going to be another receiver on the Bengals. It wasn't. It was George Pickens
It's about time.
with 195 receiving yards. Did not expect that, especially from Mason Rudolph.
Well, he's got the talent. Rudolph saved Christmas once again.
Ooh.
His bright nose was shining in the stadium.
In his underwear, or whatever they used to say.
Pickens he's good. He's talented. He just half the time doesn't seem like he cares.
Yeah.
He kind of gives up, but he had a good game. I don't think many people saw this outcome going into the game.
No, not at all.
I think most people had Cincinnati picked to win.
Right.
And
As
Pittsburgh-
they should have, you know. Pittsburgh has been on kind of like a downward decline.
Yeah, but look, they surprised me.
Very interesting. I did not expect it. Mason Rudolph, 17 for 27, 290 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Not a bad game out of Mason Rudolph at all.
You'll take that.
Hell yeah. Any day out the week, especially from someone named Mason.
What's wrong with Mason?
Do you know a Mason in real life?
I do know Mason.
You really, really have shook hands with someone. They said, hi, my name is Mason.
I fist bumped a Mason.
That's a fictional name.
I've coached a Mason in baseball.
That's like someone named Arthur.
Arthur Morgan,
You don't know someone named Arthur.
Red Dead Redemption.
That's a fictional. That's what I'm talking about. You don't really know
Arthur.
someone named Arthur.
I don't know an Arthur.
When I think of Arthur, I think of every day when you're walking down the street. Like, I'm not thinking of a real Arthur for real, you know?
The aardvark.
The art. Is that what he is?
He's an aardvark.
Yeah.
Shut up.
It's an aardvark.
I thought he was a teddy bear.
No. Oh, he's an aardvark.
There's no aardvark in that show.
Him. He's an
So
anteater.
his family is aardvarks.
They're all aardvarks.
None of them have the thing.
I guess it didn't. They probably tried to draw that out. It didn't show well in the cartoon.
I guess. I don't know, but look, as far as aardvark goes, there's been a lot of games that just appeared out of thin air.
Yeah, shout out our friend Andrew from high school. We used to call him Arthur because people said he looked like an aardvark.
That's such an insult. That's such an insult. You look like an aardvark? What do you even say? Yeah, well, you look like a... Like you would think of another animal?
He grew to it.
He grew into being
Into
an
the
aardvark?
nickname Arthur.
Or he grew out of being
No,
an
he
aardvark?
started to enjoy being called Arthur.
I don't know. Let's go to the next game. Interesting game. You know, I really have something on my mind about this game. Buffalo at LA Chargers. Buffalo beat the Chargers 24-22. Josh Allen with 237 passing yards, James Cook with only 70 rushing yards, and Gabe Davis with 130 receiving yards.
Gabe Davis, man.
Gabe?
He either does absolutely nothing
Yeah,
or puts on a show.
for real.
What a nightmare of a player to have in fantasy.
Josh Allen, 15 for 21, 237 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 pick. I was gonna save this for when we had the conversation about MVP, Lamar Jackson, Brock Purdy, but I gotta say this because you showed it to me today, and it really rubbed me the wrong way. And forgive me if I'm wrong, right? We were watching a video that came out on X, shout out Richard Sherman, where he was talking about how valuable a player is to a team depends on how incorporated they are into their offense, right? And he's a big stat guy, as Petey so gratefully pointed out. Lamar Jackson has only been involved in 55% of the touchdowns that the Ravens have scored this year, while Josh Allen has been involved in 83%.
I mean, look.
And he tried to make the argument that Josh Allen is more important to the Bills than Lamar Jackson is to the Ravens.
It's an argument that he can have, but what I want to bring up from all this is he brought up the numbers from the past couple MVPs of QBs. It was like Mahomes had a 74%.
Lamar's MVP year.
Lamar had like 70, and somebody else also had Mahomes again with 70, and now you have Lamar Jackson with 50. But now it's becoming, this MVP race is becoming, all these QBs suck. Who's the better one out of all of them to win the award? When we're in reality, we have McCaffrey right there.
That's the thing.
Who's having a great year.
You were the one that said it. It's a quarterback trophy.
It's
that-
become
to be held reluctantly. It has been, right? Because obviously everybody, as a fan, you don't want it to always be a quarterback because there's different players on a team that contribute more or less. You know, one of the things we kept saying was Tyreek Hill when he wasn't on the field. Well, what a difference it was when he wasn't there.
Yep.
But you know,
I mean,
David said it
even this
before.
week-
Yo, Lamar Jackson is the Ravens. He is the Ravens.
I mean,
you don't have the Ravens.
Josh Allen is the Bulls,
No,
the Bills.
No, he's not.
He is.
No, he's not.
If you take Josh Allen off the Bills,
You could put an okay
No,
quarterback
you
with
can't.
Stephon Diggs and be fine.
Stephon Diggs hasn't been doing great with Josh Allen.
Exactly.
I don't think.
So then you don't really
know.
need. You don't. You just said it. You just said it yourself. Josh Allen hasn't even been doing that good.
He's been doing all right.
Are the Bills what? 9-5 or 9-6? 9-6, I believe, off the top of my head.
I'm not too sure.
Right?
find out.
The Ravens are now 12-3. So even if he's more valuable to what the Bills are doing, he's producing a less. Excuse me, not to say less because obviously he's still positive in the NFL. And
Are you
that's
calling him
hard
a
to do.
smaller man?
No, I'm not calling him a small or anything. What I'm calling him is a fraud.
Bills
Whoa.
are 9-6, by the way.
9-6. Come on.
Look, I'm not trying to make a case for
Okay.
Josh Allen to be the MVP.
You make up more of what a 9-6 team does, or you make up less of what your team does at a 12-3.
I'm not trying to make the case of Josh Allen being an MVP.
Okay.
But I also think, let's think back 3 weeks, all right? Who have we had in the conversations? We had Dak.
Okay.
Then he lost the game, right?
Okay.
We've had Purdy. Now he lost the game badly. Everybody's taking him out. Now we have
When they shouldn't.
Lamar Jackson. What, if he has a bad game next week, are we going to take him out again now?
That's the thing. I feel like people aren't talking about the Ravens as much as they talk about the 49ers because both are good teams, but the 49ers make more noise. Obviously, California is a higher media state versus Baltimore, Maryland.
Yes,
right?
but I really do think the award has become a QB award, and everybody's now like so used to that. They're like, oh, so who's the better QB this year?
So then maybe Lamar needs to win it. So then the whole argument about like, oh, is he a quarterback or a running back? And then they'll kind of transition into giving it to people out of.
I think McCaffrey should win this year.
If you were to bet, who do you think will? Not should, would, could, nothing. They will. The MVP of this regular season will be.
I still think it's gonna be Purdy. I believe it's gonna be Purdy.
You think so?
Yeah. There's a world where Lamar Jackson has a bad game, and now what?
Hot take.
Is he still the favorite? It's not a hot take. I mean, he can. I don't know their schedule. Dave, if you want to bring that up, the Ravens' schedule coming up.
Got you.
I mean, they only got one more week.
Yeah, it's only one more week. I don't know who they're playing next week. But let's say Lamar has a bad game. Purdy has a good game again.
Right.
Who's your MVP?
We have Dolphins,
It's a good defense.
and then we've got the Steelers.
Dolphins is a
Another
good defense.
good defense.
It's possible. Now, I don't want to take anything away from Lamar, but the Baltimore defense just did a lot in that game as well.
Caught 5 picks.
Now, they won, but I would say it's because your defense really helped you out a lot. Who's the MVP of that game? The defense or Lamar Jackson?
The defense, because look, Lamar Jackson really didn't have a wild game, but let's get to the 49ers game when we get there. We were in the middle of talking about Buffalo.
What were we talking
Chargers.
about? The Bills? Yeah.
I just
close
got
game, closer than it
a
should have
little
been.
ahead of ourselves,
Yeah,
you know,
okay,
some might say. But that doesn't mean that we're not on schedule. You got the Colts against Atlanta. In Atlanta, the Atlanta beat the Colts 29-10.
Surprising.
This is the Falcons' season high in scoring. Gardner Minshew was sacked 6 times.
He's gonna be in an ice bath today.
He's gonna need it. He might have to shave his mustache off for aerodynamic.
He's gonna be really sore.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Heineke, 23 for 33 completed. Not a bad game by Heineke.
Yeah, we got backup against backup once again.
Listen, the backups are going back to being backups. The backups are back to backups.
Well, look, Minshew's had a really good season. More than I've expected from him. Now, you still have the Colts in a playoff run.
Yep.
I mean, Pittman's been amazing on that team.
Right.
Them getting Jonathan Taylor back has helped a lot. Zach Moss has been a little hurt.
What did they get them back last game though?
Taylor?
Yeah.
He just came back last game.
Okay, they only put up 10.
Yeah,
They're
well,
not doing great.
he came back from an injury as well. So
You gotta ease a running back into the offense type of thing.
I think it was a broken thumb too, so probably.
So do you blame the loss by 19 on Jonathan Taylor?
I think nothing went their way. Nothing went their way in that game. I don't blame anyone.
Is Atlanta even worth speaking about?
No.
At all?
No. I don't like their coaching. That's what I
Bijan
said.
Robinson for a whopping 72 rushing yards? You don't want to talk about that?
That's what did I say last week?
Huh.
I said they don't know how to use Bijan.
Hey, do you think Bijan is getting used worse, or is Derrick Henry getting used worse?
Bijan. Derrick Henry's older. They're gonna limit him a little bit. Bijan's a rookie. He's fresh. He has the promise, but as long as you keep treating him like a number 2, your team's gonna be a number 2.
You know, not for nothing. I think you're really on the dot when you talk about that. But I also feel like after seeing how Breece Hall exploded and then got hurt, I would be scared to start a rookie running back myself.
I guess, but I mean, injuries happen, man.
Yeah. But moving on from that, we got Seattle at Tennessee. Seattle beat Tennessee 20-17. Obviously, the Seahawks won, and we all had Seattle winning. But it was a last-minute touchdown, like David was saying earlier, and now they move into a playoff spot.
I mean,
That's a way closer of a game than it should be, though.
I said it last week. I said Tennessee is a trap team. No matter, Tennessee's just that team that I'll never feel, oh, this other team's definitely gonna win.
Speaking about a team that you never think is going to win, the Seahawks are kind of throwing up the dice when it comes to who they're picking at quarterback. And it was Geno Smith that was really balling. 25 for 36, 227 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, and he got sacked 3 times on top of that.
Did he start?
He did.
Because I remember we were wondering who was going to start last week.
Yeah, we didn't have the information at that time, but it ended up being Geno Smith.
Oh, okay.
I'm telling you, there's not a for sure guy there. That's why one of them has to leave by the end of the year.
Maybe both do.
Doubt it. Doubt it. You don't have 2 prospects and then drop both. Just for what?
Is Geno
Shits and
Smith a
giggles?
prospect anymore?
Yeah, I mean, he won Comeback Player of the Year last year, and now he's good enough to kind of trail up Drew Lock into being somebody. I'm okay with that. If they draft a quarterback, then I'm gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
If they can get 3 and we can't get 1, that's beyond me.
Next game, we got Detroit at Minnesota. The stakes were high in this game. If Detroit won, they would clinch their division. If Minnesota lost, they would be out of the playoffs.
Yep.
And Detroit did their thing. They won the game. There was a little magic at the end with Minnesota where Mullins threw a little not a Hail Mary, but a deep pass to Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
2 men on him, he jumped up and caught it on 4th down. Tried to do the same thing, then he threw a lollipop of a throw that got picked.
A what?
A lollipop? A little lollipop of a throw?
I've never heard that.
Never heard that lollipop of a throw?
I
A
gotta
little
tell you,
soft throw.
That's a new one for me. You
Really?
ever heard that one, David?
No, but to be honest with you, to answer your question from before, Geno Smith is under contract until 2026. So I don't think he's going anywhere.
Not going nowhere.
If anything, it'll be Drew Lock that they'll maybe try to get something for.
Trade him to the Jets.
Petey, chill.
Hey, he's a good backup.
He is a good backup.
We don't need any more backups.
You need backups. This
Yeah, we
year
are gonna
proved
need-
that you need a backup.
He's not like we may, because if Aaron Rodgers comes back, having a guy like Drew Lock may not hurt.
Look, let's get to the Jets. It's literally the next game, and
Okay,
I have a
okay.
lot to say. But what I do wanna
Congrats
say
to
is
the
this.
Lions, the first time they've won the division since '93.
Yeah, congrats. Woo! Clap it up for the Lions. Detroit, everybody.
Detroit fans, man, they've been.
I
through a
want to
lot.
say this. Even though, I was talking a lot of shit about Nick Mullins last season, I do want to say this. He deserved all the shit that was spoken about him this week. He 22 for 36. He threw 411 passing yards, but
Whoa!
4 interceptions.
Wow.
Not 1, not 2, not 3, 4. That's 1 a quarter. That's a momentum killer a quarter.
4 times.
4.
That's a dollar.
Yeah, come on now. Come on, bro. Like it's at that point where like the fact that he threw 4 picks and they were only down by 1 touchdown is kind of disappointing on Detroit's end. Even though that they should be grateful that they actually like won and clinched the playoffs. What was it? The first time since 1990 or something like that? 1993? I forgot what the stat was.
Yep.
They only won by 1 touchdown with 4 turnovers. That's a 25% turnover completion ratio. That's not that good.
No.
With the team that Detroit has, it should have been at least a 2 touchdown game.
Cody, question for you.
What's up?
With all the in-season woes, the quarterback woes, I should say, for the Vikings, do we have an appreciation for Kirk Cousins?
Yeah.
I had an appreciation for Kirk Cousins before his injury because I knew he was going to free agency this year. There's been no sign of, obviously, because as a Jet fan, you see a man with an Achilles injury bouncing back 3 weeks later, and that might set the ceiling high for other players that get Achilles injuries like Kirk Cousins. I always liked him as a player. He deserves to be a starter somewhere, just not a Jet.
When he got hurt, we had Dobbs fill in for a little bit.
Yeah.
And the Vikings were looking really good. I think they won, 3-4 straight?
Yeah.
After Cousins got hurt?
That was when he got the nickname.
Yeah, and then, that fell apart. So I don't know. The Vikings did look good without Cousins for a second. Everybody was like, maybe we don't need this guy.
Yeah, but you know what? They're going to go through all this turmoil because now they're on their second backup after Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
That means they have to pick up a 4th guy if they decide to bench Nick Mullins. I don't know who they have left, but with all this turmoil at the quarterback position, you would think that Minnesota's like, hey, maybe we really do need Kirk Cousins. Maybe we should re-sign him. Maybe we should whatever. But he's not their future.
David, I don't know if you could bring this up. I want to know who else is in the free agent market for QBs this season.
Got it.
Good question.
Because if it's not Cousins, they're not drafting one. I don't think they have a good enough pick to draft one.
Yeah. No, they don't.
So who?
What's their record? What is Minnesota's
They're
record?
like under 500 by a game or 2.
Whenever you guys
7
are ready
and
for
8.
the list.
Let's hear it.
So, we've got Kirk Cousins, Ryan Tannehill, Jacoby Brissett, Tyrod Taylor.
That list fell off quick.
Yeah, it did.
No, it didn't.
Marcus Mariota, Sam Darnold, Jameis Winston, Drew Lock, Baker Mayfield, Minshew, Bridgewater, but that's not going to happen because he's retiring. Tyler Huntley, Josh Dobbs, Easton Stick, and then it just continuously gets worse and worse.
I mean, I think your two best options are Cousins.
Jake Browning as well, and Mason Rudolph.
Your best options are Cousins and maybe Minshew.
No, but you cannot sleep on Jacoby Brissett. I think I said it for a really long time. He doesn't deserve to be a starter anywhere. But for a very long time, he was the best backup quarterback in the league.
So the Jets should pick him up.
We don't.
If
need
the
that.
price is,
you know what?
need
Let's
a
talk about the
backup.
Jets since you want to talk about them so bad. Washington at the Jets. The Jets won
Barely.
30-28. They almost. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was Christmas. No.
It was a Christmas disaster almost.
That was Christmas Day or Christmas Eve? Christmas Eve. That was Christmas Eve, Sunday night. I was at my family's house shitting bricks, bro. Because in the beginning, they were blowing them out. I think it was like 17-7, something like that. Like, yo, we got this.
That's blowing out for the
For the Jets, hell yeah!
10 points is a blowout.
Against the worst defense in the league, that should be the score. So the fact that it got back to 28-30 is kind of wild.
Well, you guys won because of a last-minute field goal.
This is what I wanted to say. In the last episode, I was in the middle of trying to remember something that I wanted to say, and I couldn't remember it while David was looking something up, and it dawned on me as soon as the episode finished, so I gotta say it on air. I called it when I said that Zach Wilson was bugging going to risk himself to injury for these last couple games when all that decision-making had to be made about him being the starting quarterback. Where is he now? Here comes the last 2 games of the year, and he's not starting with a concussion, and his stock value as a player is plummeted.
Because of a concussion?
Who's worried about him right now?
I mean,
He's not even in the conversation anymore.
I guess.
He's not, bro.
I mean, look, man. When you're given a starter opportunity, it's hard to say no.
He already had the no. The no was in his lap.
He had
And you know what was bugging him? The media.
Maybe he had something to
Not the
prove.
Jets. He already had told Robert Saleh to fuck off, and then they weren't cool, and then they had someone else starting, and then he shit the bed, and then he came back, put me in, coach! He pulled up like Chicken Little with the baseball helmet on.
Well, Chicken Little won. Yeah.
He didn't get to that part of the movie. He got hurt before that. As you can see.
I mean, look. You brought up the media. I think this media really makes him think I have something to prove. Well, that's what made him play.
Yo,
So I don't know.
I want to say this. We were talking in the game about the Jets. You said that they weren't going to go over 36 points. They banged that over. What was it? 52? 58 it was. Because 30.
That's what happens when 2 bad teams play each other.
I said that to you.
Yeah. No, I
And
brought
then-
it up too.
And then look, you also said neither team was going to score 3 offensive touchdowns. Not only did one of them do it, both of them did.
Both of
2
them.
bad teams
Oh,
happens.
here we go.
But let's bring this up because now we're talking about QBs. The Jets need a backup QB next season.
They're going to draft
You can't.
one. They're going to draft one. You have to draft one. It doesn't make sense not to draft one. Why would you get another old guy on the team
Because he's better.
with the same injuries? That's why you can't get Kirk Cousins. It's not because of his talent.
I'm not saying Kirk Cousins. But I'm saying that long list that we just read after Cousins.
Are you asking me which of those quarterbacks would I pick up as a Jet
Sure,
fan?
but you should pick one up as a Jets
I'm not gonna
franchise.
Hold you. David, is there any way you can bring that list up one more time?
I never closed it.
Let's hear it. Let's hear
Like, are you
it.
kidding me? Kirk Cousins, Ryan Tannehill, Jacoby Brissett, Tyrod Taylor, Marcus Mariota, Sam Darnold. Let's bring Sam back. Should we bring
Oh,
Sammy back?
no.
Are you on
bring-
some road?
This is why the Jets never
Wait, no.
Can we bring
Why did you
Sammy
sound
back?
so excited? Like, what?
Because he
part
showed
of
up-
his
because he
career as a
showed
Jet
out. He
made
showed
you
out.
any type of happy.
He showed out in that last 5 minutes in that
Yo.
San Fran game. He showed out.
Yo,
He
he
showed
plays
out.
for that team now.
He showed out.
Look, this is the problem. And this is why I will never trust Sam Darnold in life. Petey remembers this.
I remember.
Opening day, Sam Darnold's first game as a Jet. Jets against Lions. What year was that? 2018?
That was a long time
So
ago.
2018, 2019. His first year as a Jet. The year he got drafted number 3 from USC. Everybody was like, yeah, he's good. He throws hella picks. And I was like, you know what? He's not going to do that. His very first pass
But before that even
was
happened,
a pick 6.
before that happened,
The first one.
Sam Darnold came onto the field, and Cody called him the truth. He thought Sam was gonna save the Jets franchise.
Listen. If I'm being, I do think that like a guy like Gardner Minshew, who's a free agent, I don't think that would be a bad pickup. Or maybe even Baker Mayfield.
I think he's got to be your starter.
But I don't think that the Buccaneers will get rid of him though. I think they're probably gonna re-sign him.
I think Baker deserves to be a starter, and I don't know if he would come because Aaron Rodgers is coming back, because he knows he won't play. However, I think you guys are still sleeping on Jacoby Brissett, man. Like I don't think that. Right. I think that the truth is he didn't do that well because he was playing for a long time as the Browns quarterback after Deshaun Watson went down, or after Deshaun Watson got benched. Pardon me. But I don't know, man. I feel like another quarterback that was on the Colts, the same as Gardner Minshew. Like, he's that guy that can come in, be a little extra mobile, very similar to Tyrod Taylor, except he's taller.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what you really want out of a backup quarterback. Someone who can change the pace, because that's going to be a change of pace. If Aaron Rodgers is the starter, he's an in-the-pocket guy. So bring someone in that's going to, get the defense kind of second-guessing. Is he going to move, or is he going to throw the ball? That's my bet.
So if Brissett becomes a Jet, whose jersey are you getting first, Aaron Rodgers or Jacoby?
I already have an Aaron Rodgers, but I would get a Jacoby.
Yeah, you get a Brissett?
As an insurance jersey for when Aaron Rodgers is injured? Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Jets pod.
Speaking of benched quarterbacks, Sam Howell also benched. Honestly, after a game like that, do you expect anything different?
Well, he lost to the Jets, so this is our final straw.
I don't like how that rolled out of your mouth.
Rolled out of my mouth.
I don't. You didn't have to say it like that. Oh, he lost to the Jets. There was no reason for all that.
Jets.
Jacoby Brissett, new starting quarterback for the Commanders.
You're excited to see that.
Why do you think that is?
You're going to be tuned into that game.
So, of course I am. Bro, I'm tuned into every game. This is my life, bro. I don't think you understand. Like, that's all I got, man. Me, the show, and my Aaron Rodgers jersey. It's all I got.
Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, the next game we have to cover is Green Bay against Carolina.
Way closer than it should have been.
Way closer.
Way closer. You got Green Bay beating Carolina 33-30. And the passing leader was not Jordan Love, but Bryce Young. Bryce Young. Let's see.
Nice guy.
23. You keep saying that. You don't know if any of these people are nice. If anything, he's the opposite of nice. He's a Panther. He's fucking ass.
Just because you're bad doesn't mean you're a bad guy.
But nice can be taken two ways. You're either like, oh, he's a nice person, like he's a polite person, or he's nice, like, okay, he's like that, like he's good at.
No, he's just a nice guy.
23, for 36, 312 yards and 2 touchdowns out of Bryce Young.
Finally.
A good game.
I mean, look, the Panthers trust in this kid. That there's a reason they really built around him. They tried hard to draft him when he was available. Mm-hmm. They traded away what? It was a lot.
A lot.
Like DJ Moore, who knows what else? Picks.
Honestly,
on tops of picks, on tops of picks.
But I definitely
David, if you want to bring that up, you can. It's a lot. I know it was a lot they traded to get him, and they're in an interesting position now because they have the number 1 pick this year too, going into the draft.
Yeah, I mean it should be number 1.
I mean, do you get another QB now?
Well,
who? Bryce Young? I mean, if
you're Carolina, do you still trust him? Do you draft another?
I think they're gonna have a little rough patch, kind of like the beginning of the Lamar era of Baltimore. Like,
but they're gonna trust him.
They're gonna trust him, though.
I agree.
They should.
Well, they gotta trust him because they gave up a hell of a lot for him. The 2023 first round, number 9, second round, 61, the 61st pick, 2024 first round pick, currently at number 2, and receiver DJ Moore. To the Bears.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Even just DJ Moore at this point is looking like a lot.
That's a lot, dude. So they better trust him.
But not for nothing, I gotta say, Jordan Love didn't have a bad game either. It just wasn't as good of a game as Bryce Young. You got Jordan Love 17 for 28, 219 yards, and also 2 touchdowns.
Hey, good game this, bad game that.
Similar game. That's why it was a similar score.
Yeah. I mean, look, they just needed a win.
So I said before, if Green Bay managed to lose this game, take Jordan Love out of the conversation as one of the
That's right. You did mention that.
So now that it was a close game, I think I need to rescind my comment and say instead of taking Jordan Love out of the conversation, maybe you got to put Bryce Young into the conversation.
Ooh.
Even though he's not playing well as a franchise, I think that this kid has a ceiling.
I mean, look, I like it. I'm trying to see. Let's see who they're playing against the Jaguars.
The Jaguars have been playing horribly.
I mean, but it's the Panthers. Do you think? Let's give them a spread. Do you think they cover a touchdown?
Carolina?
Yeah.
Yeah. If they can stay this close to Green Bay, I say they stay this close to Jacksonville.
Do you think they can win?
Can they? Yes.
I don't think they cover.
On the decline that Jacksonville's on right now? Yes.
I think if this is if there's a game to bounce back, this is the one. No?
I would have said that this was their game to bounce back against Green Bay. And they got close, you know? I mean, like, it's so hard because, like you said, Carolina with a season high in points and yards in this game. Aaron Jones, 127 yards on 21 carries. Like, it's not that, like, either team is not impressive, but I feel like it also has to do with, like, you know, it's one of those anything can happen in a game type of scenarios, and that's just what it is, man. You can't really say anything else about that. This next game I wanted to really talk about because I kind of like how things are going. Cleveland at Houston. Cleveland beat Houston 36-22. How do you feel about that?
I'm not surprised. I think I picked them. I picked Cleveland to win. You don't have C.J. Stroud yet. We talked about it. Tank Dell, Nico Collins. Cleveland should beat Houston. That hurt.
I think it's flower time.
You think so?
You gotta give flowers. None other than. I was saying Joe Flacco before. It's Amari Cooper right now.
Yeah.
Can we clap for Amari
You're giving him flowers early.
Look, you have to.
He's been good the last couple weeks.
He set the franchise record for 265 receiving yards, and he became one of only 3 players to have 200 yards in a game for 3 different teams. Not an easy feat, especially when you have to build chemistry over and over and over.
I mean, the last 3 weeks. Against Jacksonville, he had 7 receptions, 77 yards. He was all right. Pretty good game in fantasy, 12 points. Then Chicago, only 4 receptions, 109 yards and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And then, this game, 11 receptions, 265 yards, 2 touchdowns.
But let me tell you, Joe Flacco was putting those balls for him on a rope.
He likes throwing to him.
I'm not gonna lie to you, it was it's been a while since I've seen perfectly placed passes into the basket,
And it took to Joe Flacco.
It did. I don't know what to tell you. I wish it didn't, But Joe Flacco had that game looking like a cinematic masterpiece.
That's always been Joe Flacco's strength. He's always thrown a really good ball.
It's true. Very, very true.
Yeah. Cooper had, I think, the 3rd most fantasy points of the year. So he really did great.
How many fantasy points did he put?
51.5.
That's
a lot of points.
Oh my god.
That's like equivalent to having 6 Austin Eckler's on your team. And I would know. I would know.
Good one, Petey.
Thank you.
Moving along, we got, like you said before, Jacksonville at Tampa Bay. Jacksonville just really not it right now.
Baker, money maker.
Losing 12-30 to Tampa Bay. 4 turnovers for Jacksonville. The defense didn't force a punt until the 4th quarter. Calvin Ridley, the man we all love and hate at the same time.
Yeah, he's very... Who else
6 catches, 90 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Had a game. I mean, somebody's got to step up, right?
Yeah, I mean, with Christian Kirk out of the picture, they had to pick someone to be that guy, and it looks like it was Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, it's either him or Zay Jones or Ingram.
Anytime I placed my own bet on Ridley, it did not happen. So I kind of just got this mental image. You ever, had a player that you never hit their anytime, and you're like, you know what, fuck this guy. I don't know. I really think that it comes down to, Jacksonville hasn't been clicking. At all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's Trevor Lawrence is a little hurt still with the ankle, missing Kirk for a while, maybe he's throwing them off, but I don't know. Something's wrong. They don't look like that true contender we saw a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and if you would have asked me a couple weeks ago who's the better quarterback in general, I would have said Trevor Lawrence without a question. But look, only 17 for 29, 211 yards, 1 touchdown, but 2 picks. It's sad, you know. Baker Mayfield, 26 for 35, 283 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Now that's a quarterback.
The rushing leader for the Jaguars, also Trevor Lawrence, for 4 carries, 29 yards. More? Oh, I'm sorry. That's wrong. Rashad White, I thought it said he had 20 rushing yards. He had 20 carries.
Whew, that's
39 rushing yards.
Dollar Store McCaffrey
And
for
a
you right there.
touchdown. Receiving leaders of the game, none other than, you already knew, Evan Ingram, 10 catches, 95 yards. Mike Evans, 7 catches, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Also had a game.
Even though it was an ugly game for the Jags, it was a nice game to watch for the stars on these teams.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Agreed. Next game?
Yeah, next game.
Arizona at Chicago.
You know, for some reason, I wasn't believing in Chicago this week. You know, it's hard for me to switch my view of someone. Like, once I get a bad taste in my mouth for a franchise, I'm kind of like, that's it. And I feel like I got a taste like that for Chicago a long, long time ago. And I'm never going to have faith in them for real.
At least you like the
In my lifetime, I've never seen a productive Chicago.
No, I mean, that's true.
Never.
Not in your lifetime.
Not in my lifetime. Like, I've never turned on the TV and been like, damn, Chicago's nice. Aside from Justin Fields last season. That's it. That's the closest I've gotten.
Do you think this can be the start of something new in Chicago?
If they can rebuild around him and he can be consistent this way, yes. But like I said, he's either great or he's nothing. So if he can...
So he's right there with Jordan. He's right there with Jordan Love. He's either great or he's nothing.
He has a higher ceiling than Jordan Love.
Okay.
He does.
Okay.
Because I think it's not his athleticism that's the problem. It's his decision making.
Like Zach Wilson.
No. Yo, I think that you just like to see this
That's a great.
You like to see this little vein on my forehead
That's a great
just pop a
comparison.
little extra than
Zach
like when it has
Wilson's.
to.
So look, Zach
No.
Wilson was drafted. Everybody was like, "This is a
Zach Wilson
great
looks
physical
like
specimen."
the White Rabbit from Wonderland.
Hey, but he's physically, he moves well. He can throw a ball. Just
Justin Fields.
It's like he's Justin Fields.
No.
No, Zach
Then
Wilson.
we're talking about the Bears.
No, Zach
actually.
Wilson.
Talking about Chicago right now, actually. If you could just.
Go Bears.
It was an interesting game for sure.
Shout out Chicago.
Coming out the bat, you know, you got Kyler Murray with 230 passing yards, Khalil Herbert with 112 rushing yards, Cole Kmet, top 10 tight end.
I hate that guy.
107
I hate that guy.
receiving yards.
Talking about guys I hate, Kmet.
Why do you hate Kmet?
I picked him up in fantasy. I remember it was like week 3, 4, and he wasn't doing anything. I think he had back-to-back weeks where he had 0 points. And I was like, I gotta get rid of this guy.
So I gotta inform you of something that we're gonna like to hear them.
Okay.
Kmet actually missed the second half of the game with an injury.
Oh, well.
So now you're speaking badly on someone that's
I
down
didn't know he
now.
was hurt. But still, didn't do anything for me. So, screw that guy.
Oh, whoa, hey, you just gotta like reiterate
I'm
that?
sure he's
Just,
a
like,
nice
throw it
guy.
out there?
I'm sure he's a nice
Yeah, yeah, that's what they all say. Herbert, 112 yards and a touchdown.
Denver. I don't think. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Sorry.
Okay.
Get it together, fellas.
No, we're doing fine. Because you got confused because it's such an interesting game to follow. That's going
Yeah, that's
into
what I'm
it.
looking
But we
at
really
right
had to really build up, kind of take a big inhale and just let you know that nobody thought this was gonna happen.
No.
And by nobody, I mean just me, because you guys both guessed that Miami was going to win. Nobody thought this was going to happen. Dallas at Miami. Dallas losing to Miami 20-22. Close game, good teams. How did you feel?
This was an exciting game to watch, man. I saw Dallas at Miami. 2 really good defenses at some point. 2 good offenses. And, like, now we're talking about is Dak that guy. He had the bad game. He's got to prove it by beating good teams now. And he played really well, I think. But Miami just played better.
Look, I'm so confident that I'm going to try and say Tua's last name again.
Yeah.
Let's try it. Tua Tagovailoa.
I'm telling you, it's
You're getting there.
It's KG, Zion, and you. I can't pronounce the words to say.
I can pronounce, I just can't read. There's a difference.
No, I think you're doing a good job reading
How
it.
would you say it?
It's Tagovailoa, no?
Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa.
What's wrong with you?
Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa. You guys are laughing. I'm trying to better myself, okay?
Just call him Tua.
No,
Yeah, just say
Tua
Tua,
T. No, Tua Tagovailoa. I said it right that time. 293 passing yards. Raheem Mostert, the rushing leader of the game, of 46 rushing. CeeDee Lamb, 118 passing yards.
CeeDee Lamb had a game.
It was definitely an interesting game, and I didn't think that it was going to be a high-scoring game because I really like both of these teams' defense.
Once again, in Miami, Achane was nowhere to be seen.
Unfortunately.
I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if he's still maybe fighting a little injury, but he's doing nothing now.
Speaking of someone that's fighting a little injury, I think Tyreek Hill is slowly getting eased back into the offense.
Yeah.
9 catches, and it's funny, right? Because it sounds like you're easing when this really is easing for these people. But 9 catches, 99 yards is a slow game for the normal Tyreek Hill that we're used to seeing.
I mean, if that's his floor, I think he'll take that.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Like, without hesitation. They had the same record going into this game. I think it went better than really people thought it was. Miami secured their playoff spot.
Good.
Dak, 253 yards, 2 touchdowns. CeeDee with 118 yards and a touchdown. It was a fun game to watch overall.
I think this is the Tua Miami needs now, going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This, like,
I think how he's been playing recently was a little scary. But I think this will give fans a little more confidence. But this Tua needs to play at this level.
You know, I saw this clip on IG, and it was Tua with a group of people that are working in the Dolphins organization. And it was Tua actually ended up gifting Dan Marino, like, something. I forgot what it was.
The Pokemon card?
No. It wasn't a Pokemon card. It was, like, something standing.
A standing Pokemon card?
Why a Pokemon card?
I don't know.
Why is that the first thing that comes
That's
to
the
your
first thing
mind?
that came to my
Out
mind.
of anything you could give Dan Marino, like, there's such a list of, like, yo, sign my shirt, or, like, maybe, I don't know, give him a football, something, some Dolphins gear, maybe, or, like, you know, maybe something he signed. Oh, Pokemon? Like, why?
First thing that came to my head.
All right, well, I know what to get you for next Christmas, I guess. That one was on your mind because you wanted a Pokemon card you didn't get, and now you're like, oh my god.
No, it's not it. I think my head actually just went. You said Dan Marino. I thought football card, and then I thought Pokemon card. So
Okay.
that's just how my brain was working. There.
Okay. I don't know. We can go on from there, though. Another close game.
Speaking of Pokemon,
We're
here in Denver.
Yeah. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm lost. Wait. This is for my friends out there. I don't get it.
He
Little
doesn't get it.
signature right there.
Speaking of Pokemon, we're in Denver.
I don't like
New
that.
England came.
New England at Denver, 26-23. Russell Wilson officially benched this week for the backup Jared Stidham. In his career, he's only been 77 for 131.
That's not good.
That's half. That's about half.
It's about half.
Half of them you make, half of them you
A
don't.
little more than half.
It's kind of unfortunate.
He's not an upgrade over Wilson.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all. We know why they're benching him.
Talk about it. Talk it.
Well, look, he has that clause in his contract. If he gets hurt, then he gets paid. So they're like, you know what? I guess
How much does it get paid, Petey?
I think it was $37 million.
It's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
To bank on someone's injury?
Right.
Yeah, well, that's why they don't want him to get hurt. So they're like, we're not gonna even start him.
I don't blame
We're
him.
gonna leave it right there, comfortable on the bench.
You know what? He gets benched, and it wasn't even him that was the
He had a
passing
good
leader
game.
of the game.
He had a good game though.
But you know who the passing leader was? Bailey Zappi.
Bailey.
256 passing yards. Then you got Jaleel McLaughlin with 37 rushing yards. Demario
That's a fun name to say.
What?
Jaleel McLaughlin.
Jaleel McLaughlin?
That's
What's a worse name, Mason or Bailey?
Oh, that's my dog's name.
Oh, that is his dog's name.
That's a good name.
I'm gonna say Mason.
I think it's a better name for an animal
Mason makes me
Yeah.
think.
than it is a human. I'll tell you that.
Mason makes me think of a jar.
A mason jar?
A mason jar. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know a mason. You know a mason, so you don't think of a jar when
He
you
knows
think
a
of your
Mason
boy.
and a Bailey.
That is, you know both.
I live with a Bailey.
So there you go.
So I'm assuming.
I named her Bailey.
What is it? You that chose the name? Officially?
I chose the name when I knew I was gonna get a dog. I didn't know what I was gonna name it, so I was looking at a long list of dog names. Bailey was on there. I was like, I like that name. It's a nice name. So the next day, we go to pick her up. We pick her up, and we see the whole family.
So you didn't even know what the dog looked like.
I knew it was gonna be a golden retriever. I didn't know. I didn't even know it was gonna be a boy or a girl. So we get there, we see all the puppies, and then Bailey was the one that walked up to me out of all the puppies. So I was like, "This is the one, right?"
Tito.
And then I'm asking, I'm asking, I forget what you call them, but the people that were selling the puppies. And I was like, "What's the mom's name?" And they're like, "The mom's name is Bailey." I was like, "Oh," so I named her after her mom.
Look at that.
Oh,
Look at that.
go.
It was meant to be.
Yeah, the name Mason sucks.
Mason jars.
Bailey is
everywhere.
better.
America's name. But to get past Bailey, all the Christmas games were fire, if you ask me. All three of them. I enjoyed watching all three of these games.
Yeah, they were pretty
wholeheartedly.
good. They were pretty good.
Las Vegas at Kansas City. It's becoming a pattern. People want to see Kansas City lose. You got
Preying on their downfall.
Las Vegas. Is that the correct score? Yeah, it is the correct score. Las Vegas 20, Kansas City 14. Seems like a low-scoring game for the Pats.
It felt
I
like
really
it was
thought
going.
our data was wrong for
No,
us.
our data's correct. It's on the money.
Pat Mahomes.
Unlike Pat Mahomes that game.
He still had a lot of passing yards. 235 is the passing leader. You got Zamir White at 145 rushing yards. Rashee Rice at 57 receiving yards as the receiving leader. Oh, man. It's really unfortunate. The stat that drove me crazy when I heard it was the Raiders did not complete a pass after the first quarter.
Not one completed pass.
That is disgusting.
They had 2 pick sixes.
Yeah, so I don't blame them.
So they were like, you know what? I'm just gonna run the ball every
They kind
time.
of turtle shell it up, get nervous to throw the ball, be like, hey, this is a running team. And you know what? I know that Antonio Pierce doesn't even have a problem with that. We've been talking about that for weeks. He likes running the ball. That's why Josh Jacobs was his guy.
It's a problem. I mean, look, if you're coaching the Chiefs, you're seeing the other team hasn't thrown a ball for 2 quarters.
Yeah.
You know what's gonna be happening the rest of the game, and you lose.
They look sloppy out there, bro. And you know what's crazy? The very first play, if I'm not mistaken, someone can correct me if I'm wrong. The very first play was Chris Jones sacked Adrian O'Connell, right?
Maybe.
Do you know?
I haven't watched film yet. No.
Oh, okay. I haven't watched the tape. We gotta hit up Noel for the highlight reel.
Yeah, he's
Shout
on
out
it.
Noel.
He's on it.
A little sneak preview of what's to come next week. But anyhow, the Chiefs look nasty. As David wrote, the first team since 2000 to win a game without passing the ball in the second half.
What were you doing at the year 2000?
Learning how to walk. Probably drooling on my family members.
It's a long time.
I was kind of one of those kids that like
You were a drooler?
I laid on the floor just because the floor was there. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't a lot going.
So you're always just like
Security blanket in hand. Yeah, I was one of those. I was not moving unless interacted with. I don't know.
Kansas City not looking good. They still need a receiver 1 on that team.
Yo.
Kelsey looks like he's lost a step.
So I gotta, before we get into more of what went wrong for the Chiefs, let's talk about something else that went wrong, and that's my parlay for this game.
Oh, that's right.
I took the Chiefs money line. The parlay's gone. The parlay's already on and over
I
with.
thought he was that.
We'll just talk about the rest for shits and giggles, shall we? Scaffolding with a touchdown out the window, right? Points over 40. It was 20-14. Didn't hit that one either. So that was a stinker for me this week. I'm really sad about that one, to be honest with you. Do you want to... You know what? Please talk about the Giants game so we can bring a little accuracy onto the show.
The Giants were playing in Philly. Tommy DeVito got benched.
It's true.
So we had Tyrod Taylor. He's back. I don't know if it's the right move.
You don't think
I don't
it's the
know.
right move.
I don't know. I don't know what the right move is on this
Did
team.
you fall in love with good old Tommy?
I think it was fun.
Do you want something
He
fun
didn't
or
have
do you
a-
want something that could last?
At this
that
point-
says something about the psychology
At
of you.
this point in the
Are you
season,
here for a good time or a long time?
I'm here for a good time, man. It's the end of the season. We're not making the playoffs. Put something fun out on the field.
All right, let me ask you like this. As a fan, let me ask you this.
Okay.
David, you could also chime in. as a fan of a franchise, would you rather win 2 Super Bowls in the span of 10 years or win 3 Super Bowls in the span of 30?
Are those 10 years in with like they aren't those
You.
the 30 years? Is that like, oh, they won 2 of those before I was even watching the
They're
team?
all while you're watching.
So 3 and 30 or 2 and 10?
Give me 3 and 30.
Yeah.
I feel
Now,
like I'll be
now
able
those
to
3 and
enjoy
30,
it.
are those 2 and 10 then nothing in 20?
No, yeah,
Are
that's
they-
what that means. So if you get 2 and 10, that's it. You only get to see the 2 and 10.
But
or you get to see the 3 and 30.
the 3 and 30, is that happening in 10 years and nothing else happens for 20? Or is it
No,
like
the 3 and 30 is you have to wait until like the last 330. So like from 0 to 27, there's nothing.
Oh, so it's 3 years.
28,
So it's 3
29,
and 3
30.
years.
Like you get to see a dynasty,
I'll
Oh.
take that. I'll take that.
Yeah.
but you have to wait a lot longer, and you might not be as fired up about the sport.
I'm a Jet fan. I've been waiting my whole life.
I think you'll be fired up as a Jets fan whether you're
Let's be-
25 or 55.
Look, let's be realistic. I started being a legitimate fan of the sport at like, let's say 15. Right? I don't know about you. I don't know about David either. 15 for me. 30 years from then, that means I got to see my team win the chip 3 times at 45.
That's sick. That's a good age.
That's a
Your kids
good
will probably
age.
see it. Like, that's great.
That's a setup for whoever's next in your
You're
line.
setting
of
up your
whatever.
future.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
yeah, remember this?
yeah.
You're not going to forget this one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's literally every Giant fan in 2006, 2008. We were there when we saw it. And then all those Giant fans after that were like, yeah.
Now,
Nothing.
would you take that if it was 3 wins in a row now and then the opposite for the next 27?
Like, win the 3
Let's
and,
say-
then, and then never see them win one ever again.
Are we
Let's say
competitive?
like the Patriots. Like you got to see Tom Brady. Well, he won 6.
Are we competitive, though?
You are not. You're like what the Jets are now.
See, like the Rams kinda. Like the Rams won the chip and then they were not.
Let's say you win 3 chips in a row and then become the Bears for 27 years.
Oh.
That's still 3 for
Let me ask you
30.
this. Would I know? Like,
No, you don't know.
Would I know, though?
No, you don't.
like,
So you have to sit
if
there and
I-
watch
if
every
I-
year.
So let's say
And have hope.
Let's put it into the structure of my scenario, right? So if I knew, so if I'm in my 20s right now, and then I'm like, oh, I'm fine, because I'll see it when I'm 43, 44, and 45. Like, if I knew, I'd be okay with it.
But would you though? Because let's say I told you right now, guaranteed.
3 in a row, if anything, is insane.
No, but let's say I'm guaranteeing you the Jets aren't winning anything for 27 years. Are you gonna sit there for 27 years and enjoy watching Jets football,
Are we
knowing they're not gonna do
competitive?
anything?
I would
Are we
enjoy
competitive?
If you're not
it's
winning a
me-
Super Bowl, you're not
Hold up.
competitive enough.
Hold up. Because
For
it's
27.
me, I'm going to say I would enjoy it regardless. Because I'm a football fan. If I was just a Jet fan, that might piss me off.
But let's say
Because
like
I'm not interested in seeing anybody else win. Like, me as a fan, I can go watch a Super Bowl, whoever it is, because I know it's not going to be the fucking Jets. And I'll be like, okay, I'm glad they won. That's a good team. I like this about that team. I like this about that team. If I was just a Jet fan, I'd be miserable every other year. But you got to take that with a grain of salt because there are a lot of fans that never have and never will see their team win.
I think knowing would just take a lot of the fun out of it. Like if you knew the Jets weren't gonna win a Super Bowl in 27 years, you're gonna watch them year by year.
Yeah.
David asked, are they gonna be competitive? But if they are, let's say they make the playoffs.
Right.
You already know what's about to happen.
I guess so.
You know, like when the
There's
Jets,
no excitement.
there's no
in-
excitement.
yeah.
There's no believing. Because if the Jets made the playoffs next year, you're gonna have hope that maybe they could win it all. In a world where everything's right,
Right.
they'll win it all. In the low chance of this world that doesn't exist,
Yeah.
the Jets will win a.
You don't have to.
Oh, I'm
You're
sorry.
stretching it.
Oh, I'm
You're
sorry, my
stretching it
fault.
a little bit.
But let's say you win the 3 championships, then there's 27 years of like just I watched
You
the
stretched
game.
that longer than they stretched to fucking Daniel Jones's injury report. You really said like the lowest of the
But
low.
look, the Jets
like
make the
we're not
playoffs.
even talking about the Jets anymore.
Who brought it up?
The whole
How did
scenario
we
was
get here?
I don't know. Honestly, it's just one of those conversations where you got to let it happen.
This is a Jets pod.
You know what? I don't care if it is.
We're talking about the Giants and Philly.
It's also the game on Thursday.
Wait. We're not there yet. We're talking about the Giants at Philly. My parlay hit. I had the Giants to cover 8. I had Devonta Smith score a touchdown, and I had an over at 42 points.
Pretty good. And the over hit at 53. No, 58.
Yeah, it was a great game.
Also 58.
A great game.
The both games we picked the over for, it hit 58 exactly.
Wow.
That's kind of crazy.
Welcome to Cody's Corner.
That's kind of wild. Maybe we are the fortune tellers.
Let's go to the best game of the week.
You know what? I'm glad I wasn't me that said it. Please dap me up. The best game of the week. And you know what? This one really bothered me because I had no idea that my boy Brock Purdy was going to get embarrassed.
That was bad.
He got embarrassed, bro. 5 turnovers.
I don't know, it might have been in his head. But you know, like behind the scenes, he knows, I just have to have a couple decent games and I have a good chance to be MVP, right?
Yeah.
He just needed to not throw 5 picks.
Well, he didn't throw 5 picks. It was 4 picks, and then there was just one. I believe it was someone fumbled the ball.
Oh, okay.
But
all he needed to do was not throw 4 picks and fumble the ball, and he would have been MVP. And now it's a little questionable.
I think the beauty of looking over the statistics of this game is you really have 3 players on these teams that are rooting for MVP contestants. You got Lamar Jackson, Brock Purdy, and McCaffrey.
Yeah.
So to see how they play each other is a beautiful thing. Brock Purdy, 18 for 32, 255 passing yards, 4 interceptions, 0 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson, 23 for 35, 252 yards, 2 touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey, 14 carries, 103 yards, 1 touchdown. Now, is it impressive that with a defense that is obviously dominating the 49ers offense like that McCaffrey was still able to get one?
No, I'm not surprised. McCaffrey's a god amongst men.
Did you think that Baltimore's defense... Look, wasn't it you... Who said Baltimore was going to win this week? David? You were the only one that knew Baltimore was going to win this week.
Yeah, well, I know football.
All right, well,
welcome to Cody's Corner.
I guess there's something that they know in the dungeon that we don't know in the corner.
What's David cooking up in the dungeon, huh?
No, to be honest with you,
he's back there with a fucking cauldron, like it's Halloween Town. It's gonna be like 1 sprinkle of frog legs.
No, that was a feeling, man. I don't know, something about like I feel like the 49ers show up and then they kind of don't. Not saying that they're not winning games, but you know what I mean. Like, and I just think that. I don't know. Baltimore just is a scary team. Like, and it's like I don't think they were ready for that.
Yeah.
Well, they gotta be ready now.
You know, it was kind of like they were living in a dream, so they kind of deserved that little wake-up call. The only one of the Bird Gauntlet games that they lost. Only the Ravens.
So they didn't get the final stone.
Oh no, well
they were like Thanos.
It was the end of the movie. They were about to kill Vision. You know what I mean?
Oh man, spoilers.
What do you mean? That movie came out like 6 years ago?
I'm sure somebody.
Spoiler.
Somebody hasn't seen it.
It's not my fault. Someone hasn't seen one of the best movies in the last 10 years.
And the crazy thing is that I picked them to win, but I didn't put them as my parlay.
Let's talk about your parlay.
Parlay was 49ers money line, so it's already done. Over 47. Flowers TD, McCaffrey TD. I see, like. I wanted them to win, and I thought they were going to win, but if I had money on it, I was going to go with the 49ers. So it's like one of those, you know?
Yeah. Everybody really thought they were going to take it. It's funny how you took Baltimore to win, but then you took 49ers money line. How does that...
Were you not just listening to what I was saying?
No, I know. But, like, you know, it's one thing to hear your explanation, and it's one thing to see it on a screen and just, you know, be conflicted.
Like I said, when it comes to money... That was my guess is out of passion. That's just out of me being a fan, what I want to see, who I want to win, things like that. Right. But a parlay, you know, implications are a little. Also, we would like to, you know, anybody who gambles or anything, please do it responsibly.
Don't take our advice.
At all, except for Petey's because he's actually pretty good. But with that being
You
said,
said except for, like there was like 5 other people in the room. Don't take their advice. Don't take all of their advice except Petey. That's crazy.
so yeah.
So
That's it. We made it finally.
we got something else to talk about though. This is important.
Semi-finals.
What a semifinals it was. We're gonna fly through this because honestly, the games weren't as crazy as I thought they were gonna be. One of them was close, one of them wasn't. I want to start off with the one that wasn't, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
Dylan Houghton with 156 against Eamon, the Goliath, falling to David, not the one with the mic, at 9-5 at 106.
Man,
I had people calling me personally, obviously before this episode comes out, and they were like, yo, did Eamon win? Swear to God. Swear on everything I love,
people were
bro.
invested.
People were invested, and people wanted to know, and they don't even know who Eamon is.
You're like, this guy you speak of that's so good at fantasy
Yeah,
football.
yeah. It's
Did
like
he
that,
win this
like
week?
that meme I sent of Dexter looking at Zach Wilson stun on these hoes.
They're like,
So-
you have to tell me who's Eamon starting this week. I need to know.
Dylan beat Eamon by 50.
Yeah.
Let's just go down the line. Eamon did not have a good lineup. You know, I'm just gonna talk about the weak spots. Alvin Kamara, 8. James Cook, 5. Even Pat Mahomes, 16. Not a high number. Then the whole year he was kind of banking on that Travis Kelce, Pat Mahomes combo, and both of them didn't hit. You got 16 from Pat, 9 from Travis Kelce. That's gonna plunder for sure. Brandon Ayuk always does well. Raheem Mostert with 12. Texans defense with 5. It was a rough game.
Looking
for
at his
Eamon.
team, he's in the same exact spot that I was in the first round of the playoffs.
Yo.
Where he had all these running back options, and none of them had a good game. Kamara only had 8. Cook only had 5. Etienne only had 6. Ty Chandler only had 7. No matter who he plugs in there, like, he had no chance.
And remember, you were worried about Najee Harris. Here he is, one of the highest scoring running backs in this matchup with 12.
I was worried. I mean, at the end,
No,
he didn't even
13.
didn't even need Harris to win that game.
At all.
I mean, look, the big things, he had Jalen Hurts with 23. He had St. Brown with 28. You had George Kittle with 19. Gus Edwards, 14. My boy, Young Ho Koo,
Talk about
with 19 points. You're getting 19 points from a kicker, you're kind of like destined to win.
it. So did he win because of his kicker?
Some would say.
His kicker didn't give him 50.
Not like Amari Cooper.
Look,
Congrats to Dylan. Amen.
like I said, scariest team in the league.
Amen.
Amen. After that, you got Joey at 105.22, losing to Anthony Barge 105.98.
He lost by, for those listening at home that just got a lot of numbers thrown at them, he lost by 0.7 points.
Insane.
And do we want to talk about how he lost?
Nah, please tell the people.
So we went into that Monday game, Giants versus Eagles. Their last two people starting, they had Joey had Devonta Smith, Anthony had Philly's defense. All right. And in the last 2 minutes of the game, Devonta Smith got like 2 screen passes, got enough points to take the lead. It looked like, oh, Joey's gonna win. That's it. There's a minute left of this game. He's
Right.
up. He's up by 2 points. The Giants. Let me remind you guys at home. He is an Eagles fan and he hates the Giants.
Joey is an Eagles
Joey.
fan. Yep.
So this definitely gave him more reason to hate the Giants now, because the Giants get the ball back. They're moving the ball up the field, throw a Hail Mary that gets picked. That's it. 2 more points for Anthony and he wins the game.
Insane. And he won, like, literally, it was the perfect 2 points. Because,
perfect.
like you said, he only won by 0.7.
Yeah, he needed those 2 points.
That is so crazy. Unfortunate to see Joey.
It might be a good thing that he lost. He was going to go limping into the finals. No Jamar Chase, no... Who else did he lose?
His cat, probably.
Hawkinson. His cat.
He probably lost his cat.
Probably lost his cat.
He probably was like, no! And then he, like, booted it out. His cat.
Shout out
my
Anthony.
God.
He's been proving you wrong.
Like I said,
You're seeing him in the finals.
Anthony Barge and Dylan Houghton have the same logo on their team. It's logo against logo
It's
going
destiny.
into the championship. I am super excited to talk to you guys about that one on Saturday.
I can't wait. Now we have our boom busts.
We did okay.
Boom, boom, boom.
I can't do the echo. You have to always do the echo.
Boom, boom, boom.
Like, we're going to get it so that we press a button and your mic turns into an echo so you could do it just for that one part.
That'd be awesome. Just for that.
So, tell us about your boom, man.
My first boom, Baker, Cash Money, Money Maker. And what'd he do?
What'd he do?
He boomed!
Okay.
Come on!
Okay.
It's like I know football or something. He was projected 16. He got 19.
Okay.
We'll take that.
Honestly, you shocked me. I thought that little game at Lambeau Field was a fluke.
No flukes here.
I guess not. I guess you know what you're talking about, man. As a bust, I had Lamar Jackson against San Francisco.
Imagine if Cleveland had him now. Sorry.
I know. That'd be crazy. Like, if they were... I mean, honestly, they don't need him. They're doing better without him. They're doing better without him. Is it that if he would have been in Cleveland, or...
Who would you rather in the playoffs, Flacco or Baker Mayfield?
Flacco.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
I watched that last Ravens Super Bowl with Joe Flacco. It's always fun.
Okay.
It's always fun. But going forward, I had Lamar Jackson against San Francisco. I called him for a bust at 21.2. He got 22.6.
We have to start betting you on your bets because it's always 1 point off.
Yeah, honestly, like whoever I choose, it's not going to be a boom or bust. It's going to be
right
on the money.
Right,
you can expect what he's projected for sure. 21.2. He got 22.6. Ugly game, but that's what they get for trying to stop him. You know,
Yeah.
That's going to be the look. I did say this. I think I said if there was any quarterback that was going to be able to get out of the pocket against San Francisco with Chase Young and Nick Bosa, it was going to be him.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so it was one way or the other. But
all right,
let's talk about your receiver.
My receiver, Devonta Smith. That was also in my parlay. He was only projected 12 points.
It's Devontae.
It's Devontae, man.
It's Devontae, not Devonta.
Devontae. Oh. Isn't it pronounced Devontae?
You just say A.
I've heard Devonta Smith.
Moving along.
I don't know. well, Dave, look into that for us. How do we pronounce
pronunciation
his name?
of? No,
I thought it was Devonta Smith. He was projected only 12 points, which I thought was a surprise.
Yeah.
I was like, it's the Giants. We're not gonna stop somebody.
Right.
And they didn't stop him.
You were right.
Yeah, he scored a touchdown. He had 18 points basically, and I'll take that.
Okay. You know what? You've been hitting a lot on the boom and bust as of lately. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Extremely impressed.
Thank you.
Talk about, I think I get back for the last bust that I had with Lamar because this was a bust and a half. Devontae Adams versus Kansas City was projected 16.8. You know how many points he got?
Tell me.
1.4.
Oof, that helped. That hurts at the receiver one
Oh
position.
my god! I hope some people look. This is for entertainment purposes only, but I hope people know that I kind of know what I'm talking about sometimes.
Imagine you lost in fantasy and you started him.
Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be my week. But you know,
where can I go wrong?
1.4. Tragic. R.I.P. Like Dylan Angel.
Yep. Was he on? I think he was. Oh no, was he on Angel's team?
Was he?
I think so.
That's funny.
I think
as
Angel
hell.
had him in
I was
fantasy.
just saying because he's dead now. But
My running back to boom, I chose Raheem Mostert.
okay.
You questioned my pick. You were like, against this Cowboys defense?
Yo.
And I was like, he can do it. It's Mostert. And he tried. I mean, he was projected 18, and he got 12. Which, I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't to the level I expected.
Right. You know, and it's one of those. It's hard because Cowboys is a good defense, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like make or break.
They
but
showed.
Make or break or money maker or whatever you said earlier. Last but not least, we got Saquon Barkley against the Eagles, projected 16.1. He kind of had a better day, 19.4.
He kind of had a good game.
He kind of had a better game than most people thought he was going to have. By most people, I mean myself, the same way David meant everyone over there except Petey. It was an interesting game. You know, you win some, you lose some. I lose most of them. That's just how that's just how it goes, I guess, right here. And on that note, talking about, you know, you win some, you lose some.
Somebody's got to lose on Thursday.
Someone's got to lose on Thursday, and we're happy to talk to you about the parlays that we already have set for the game for you, the listeners. Jets at Cleveland.
This is a Jets podcast.
The over at 34.5. The Jets money line is at plus 270, and the Browns have a negative 7.5 spread. How do you feel about this game with Trevor Siemian starting at quarterback?
Oh man, this is gonna be. I think this is the one. I think this is gonna be a low-scoring game.
This is the one. What?
This is a low-scoring game.
Why?
You have a Cleveland defense.
Okay.
Really good.
Uh-huh.
Jets offense. Really bad. You have
David just growled at you.
You have a Jets defense. Jets defense, really good. Cleveland offense, all right.
Okay.
This has to be an under, right?
You know,
Is this the one?
I also think the under makes sense. And I want to talk to you a little about the parlay. I have no more Jet in my tank right now, if I'm being honest. I've kind of been yelling and hollering about him this whole podcast, as you already saw. But I got under 34.5. I got Garrett Wilson at an anytime touchdown. And my last one is I think neither team is going to have over 20 points by the time the half comes around.
Wow. I like that.
Not over 20 or under 20 as a whole. I'm saying
neither team is going to have 20.
Over 20
Yeah.
at the half.
Yeah. I see that.
That's my 3-leg.
I like that. It's a lot of you're really preying on the downfall of this game.
I'm really preying on the downfall of what is left to be this season. Let's just hurry it up.
All right. Well, my parlay, since we're hurrying it up, I have the Cleveland money line. Then easy. I have Greg the Leg with over 1.5 field goals. I think he's gonna have at least 2 field goals this game.
Okay, understandable.
And I think Flacco's gonna ball again. He's gonna throw over 300 yards.
That's insane.
That is wild. Against the Jets defense?
I say he throws over 300 yards.
That's insane.
You think he's going to throw 300 over Sauce Gardner?
I
or
think
DJ Reed? Or Quincy
He's
Williams?
throwing them
I don't know
over
who.
all,
Right?
all 11 of them.
Or CJ Mosley?
Doesn't matter who. He's throwing 300.
He's definitely not. But okay.
You're out of your mind. Can I just throw it on
Nothing-
my parlay
nothing less
that
than 250.
he'll have under 300?
You
Can
can
I throw that on my
Sure.
fourth leg? I think that's it. I mean, David also has a parlay for today.
Yeah.
David, let's hear your parlay, bro.
All right. Well, we're going to do over 35 and a hook. We're going to do Brees Hall for a TD.
I like it.
I want to take Amari Cooper over 50 receiving yards and put a little juice on it. I'm taking the Jets for a safety.
Hey, you're talking about all that sauce, but you have Amari Cooper for over 50 yards?
Oh.
So it doesn't sound like you think Sauce is going to have a good game.
Listen, I think it's hard. I think
It's my parlay, not his.
Yeah.
And I'm still reasonable. What if he has 52 yards and no touchdowns? That's decent.
All right.
The guy's going off 100-yard game, 200-yard games.
It's true.
If I could hold him to 50, I think I did a good job.
We'll see.
All right. I mean, that's all we got for today, man. You got anything else?
I think we spoke enough about the Jets earlier. I don't think we need to talk more.
I don't think they have anything else to do. We're gonna start looping the conversation. So I'm really glad that everybody came to listen. The episode came out a little later on Wednesday, but we're still gonna have fun with it.
You have an extra 10 minutes as a sorry.
What do you mean?
It's like 10 minutes longer than usual, the episode.
Oh, all right. Well,
Fine.
that's it. Talk to you guys on Saturday.
I'll see you.
I'll see ya.
Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me.